Well, think the overwhelming initial reaction is that delighted that a lot of my efforts over the last 10 or 15 years have been formally recognised. I'd been a member of the club since my early 30s, so I've been a playing member at Robina for just over 40 years. I'm rather proud of the fact that at the age of 74, with 2 artificial knees and 1 artificial hip, I can still get around and give the youngsters a run for their money. But my game was always at an agricultural sort of level, and I'd never ever thought of getting involved on a committee. I was quite happy to play my game, have my shower and go and have a drink. That was about it. And then we, in 1 year, lost our chairman and lost our treasurer. And so the outgoing treasurer asked whether I might wish to get involved. And I felt it was a good opportunity to put back into the sport and might give me some satisfaction as well. I've been volunteering for the last 14 years as treasurer. So I'm very proud of what our club has achieved over the last 10 years. And we're now in a very strong position. We cater for young players from the age of 3 to players over the age of 80. We've got a very active wheelchair section, and we have 8 teams who play in the South Wales leagues and 1 that plays in the Bristol leagues. We're hoping maybe one day we'll be able to enter a team for wheelchair squash in the South Wales leagues as well. The most rewarding aspect of my involvement at Robina has been seeing my efforts contribute in some small way to the development of the club. And when I look back on the club as it was 40 years ago, there have been some massive changes during that period. It had a reputation in the 1980s as being one of the coldest courts in South Wales. So one of the biggest changes we had was to introduce proper heating system. The big change then was the introduction of the 4th court, which has transformed the club. And now I think we have 2 superb glass-backed courts, very warm. And this means that we now have the ability to stage tournaments at the club, which was not possible in the past. So we're always looking to maximize the use of our new facility, 4th court and the viewing area, by holding not only internal competitions, but Squash Wales events and PSA tournaments. And there's even a suggestion that we might be holding the very first wheelchair international tournament at the club later on this year. Fortunately, we've been able to secure a full complement of committee members. We've recently, as a committee, reviewed the last 10 years, and now we're looking to what the challenges are for the next 10 years. I think the most important thing for a volunteer is that they are enthusiastic for the role that they're applying for. Secondly, and it's really important that volunteers are organised. Another crucial aspect is that any volunteer needs to be fairly thick-skinned. The form of recognition that I've become accustomed to is that absence of criticism is praise enough. My first piece of advice would be that you listen very carefully to any comments made by members of your club. Members will always have a reason for bringing up their comments. It's always right to treat them with respect and in a professional manner. This job of volunteering takes up a very large amount of my time, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without the patience of my wife, who puts up with my working, sending emails in the middle of the night, and I wouldn't have been able to do this job without her support.